Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here one more time. God knows I tried all I could to stay away from this microphone. I know you're tired of seeing me, just as I am tired of having to come before you and try to draw attention to things that I think you should be so familiar with and aware of. However, I find myself periodically, if not several times a day, at least once a day, finding the opportunity to stand before you and to say some things that I hope would enlighten you as I have been enlightened. This message will focus on haves and have-nots. I see this as being the crux between most of the problems that exist throughout humanity, throughout humankind, the haves and the have-nots. I have to think that any family would like to make sure that all of the extensions of the family have. I would like to think that the creator of humankind did so with the intention and the understanding and the efforts to assure that every human being would have. And yet, for some strange reason, it seems as if there always exists a have-not. Now, it appears to me if everyone has, or if everyone have, however you look at it, then where does have-nots come from? Some would like to suggest that the have-nots is a result of not doing the diligence necessary to produce. Some might say that the haves exist because they've exercised a few impractical experiences of stealing and taking. That's really not the question. The question should be, based upon these two possibilities, what efforts can be exercised to make sure that at any given point in time, everybody have? I was brought to this mindset on just the other evening. I was watching the news and I saw how things were happening in Hong Kong. And I saw what I have seen here in the United States from the early 60s, how white people and the law would beat down on black people. And I'm sure back in the days before then, in the 40s and the 30s and the late 80s, 1800s, just how violent these things could have existed for slaves, my kind of people who look like me, who built like me, who color like me. I can imagine it as I saw these cops, these legal officials, the law, beating down these kids who are fighting for some sense of democracy. Now, the challenge there comes from the have-nots. The children weren't out there. The people in the streets talking about democracy are not fighting for just being a have-not, but to get out of that state of have-not, being robbed by the haves. But the law, I understand in China, they got one man who is in charge of the whole nation. The people have acquiesced so much due to the beatings, due to the problems, Tiananmen Square, for those of you who remember that the hardliners would do to anybody who resists to have control. Now, I have often stated that the one who made you allows you to make your decisions, and that you live as a result, as a consequence of the decisions you've made. But I've also considered that the opposition wants to force you, beat you down, rob you, steal you, suffer you, and kill you, to force you to allow them to be God. So when I see what's happening in Hong Kong, it reminds me of the devil trying to force people, as I saw with the slavery movement, to force people, as I saw with the native movement, to force people. And as a result, you're going to have the haves and you're going to have the have-nots. So anywhere that you find a war going on such as this, it's a war between good and evil. It's a war between have and have-nots. Some of us say it's a war between God and the devil. So I thought to myself, the things that are going on in the United States of America under Donald Trump. And I compared it with some of the things that I've heard going along in Russia, Putin. I saw one of the news commentators interviewing Putin and asked him, why is it that so many people who hold opposition to him end up dead? And I saw a smile on his face. I didn't get a chance to answer it. Maybe that was just a PR thing to get us going to watch the whole program later. I want to know what he said. But the truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, I really am tired of speaking to you because for some strange reason there's a bug. And it has made the people kind of where they don't really care or act like they don't care, or how great the fear is. I saw some killing on television that was happening in Texas yesterday. And when the bullets were firing and the guns were being sound, pop, 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 how the people were running and scared and diving on the ground and covering up. So it seems to me everybody wants to live. Nobody really wants to die. Except unless you're in the military, then you don't have any rights. You just do what you're commanded to do. And Trump is counting on that when he feels he got to call out the military to whoop some heads in America. And I'm sure that if he called them out to whoop some heads in America, Americans' heads will be whooped, and the people would acquiesce and yield to whatever these dictators say because they want to live. Want to live. And it makes me think that for one reason or another, we are all here on this earth because we have violated the rules somewhere else that permitted us to be here. They talk about angels in heaven that violated the rules and were kicked out. Maybe those spirits, maybe we are the representation, the physical expression of those spirits kicked out here because we have a great challenge. And that challenge is to live in peace, to live with prosperity, to live in freedom, to live with joy and justice and the fulfillment of our dreams. That's everyone's hope, but it's not happening. So I'm constantly thinking, is this mission here on earth to separate those who wants to truly live from those who die? Because the only ones that will truly live are those who will stand for what is right. Now, I say that because if I'm to conclude or accept the fact that we are here because of some mess up we did someplace else, and I look at the challenge that we have to go through here today and what it takes to be bold, what it takes to be a man or a woman, you have to stand up. And as a standing up, you get killed for it. That means you're resisting the devil. You resist the devil and you get killed for it. So ladies and gentlemen, if I had to go to a biblical story that many of you don't want to hear, that many of you will discard and consider as being totally blind or ignorant, let me use a story that so many Americans are given. And that is the story of Jesus Christ, who have been told to us that was the Son of God. And we have been taught also through many means that none of us could be as good as Jesus Christ, the Son of our Father. Which means, kind of sounds like we are just like Jesus Christ, or should be. Well, come to think of it, hey, let me finish my statement, because it seems more real now than that before I first thought of it. That Jesus Christ came and he displayed all of the goodness that any of us could display. Gandhi, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and 100 million other people that we know nothing about who carry themselves in the same way, who are dead. Maybe the natives who are dead because they stood up. And the only people that continue to live are the cowards. All of us who are living in America today, we are the cowards. We are not the bold, the brave, the few. We are the masses. We are the cowards. Yes, we truly are the cowards. Don't kill us. We'll submit. What you want me to do? Anything. So it makes me think that Jesus went through the same thing. But he did not, according to the story, acquiesce as we have. He didn't say, I'll bow down and serve you. I will be your servant to the ultimate death of you. He said, by his actions, I stand for a representation of something better than you. I stand for a representation better than the devil. I stand for a representation better than the dictators, better than the murderers, better than the thieves. I stand for something better than that. And by so doing, at a very young age, we are told, he was killed. Killed. No place for such a good one here on earth. You've heard me say, no place for such a good one as Dr. King, Malcolm X, and Gandhi, and the others that I don't even know the name of. No place here for them. So the only reason we are here, because we're cowards. Because we want to be rude. We try to be bold and stand up and flex our muscles, but hit us side the head and watch us. Now, some of us will go around and start killing you. Some of us will do that. That's why you got these guys running here with these guns, killing folks. But they're ignorant. Ignorant to the degree they don't really know what they're doing. They're just responding, and they're hurting the innocent people. They are saying to the innocent people, you allowed this to happen, so we're going to get you. I can't understand if you're pissed off with the system, why aren't you doing it to those who support the system? You're killing innocent people, kids, old folks, people just walking on the street. So that makes me think you're stupid. You're just a devil, blind devil. However, when I come back to my original statement, it seems as if there's a challenge, if that story about Jesus Christ is true, to all human beings who know the story. I'm not talking about people who are Christians. I'm talking about people who know the story. Whether you're Muslims or wherever you are, or wherever you might be in whatever times you might live in or going to live in. The message has got to be the same. So it appears to me again, as my statement is alluding to, that our purpose here is to separate the lovers from the haters, to separate the good people from the evil people, to separate the God-accepting people from the devil-accepting people. It appears to me as if that is the purpose. Because what is happening in Hong Kong? These people are being beat down. These children are being beat down. For what purpose? To make them obey. To make them obedient. Even though they are dissatisfied with their status in life. Even though in their being there says they will do anything they possibly can to stand up. And that devil say they'll do anything to make you yield. And so one of the basic principles of the other nations around the earth is those that believe in some measure of justice and some measure of fairness will stand up and represent that which represents fairness all across the board. That's what we have in the past referred to as democracy. But now in the United States, we got a president who's trying to say democracy, to hell with democracy. He is a dictator. And he's channeling everything he does to make sure that America becomes a nation that is dictated to. and it's being successful. Now, why am I saying this to you? Because they are those who are prostrating themselves before you, talking about defending you. They're not defending you. Talking about being smart. No. What Miss Pelosi is doing, I don't care what she does. If it makes people think that Donald Trump is a genius and he's wrong, then you stand up for what is right. And if the people of this great big country have been so defeated and so diffused that they would allow such an evil power to possess them, then don't you help them. You stand up for what's right. There are a few people in this country who wants to be represented for righteousness' sake. There are a few people in this country who don't mind dying, giving up their lives for what is right. They don't want to stand out there and allow this cancer to spread. Why are you trying to be political? Why are you trying to be smart and outdo the devil? Are you out of your mind? The only way you can outdo the devil is allow the spirit of love or the spirit of God to be transparent through you. Oh, you're not that darn smart. In other words, as far as I can see, anybody that's trying to outsmart the devil is actually a devil themselves. Let me say that again. Anybody that's trying to outsmart the devil is actually a devil themselves. And don't know, or do know, that your agenda is the same as the devil. You just need a little bit more time. So what am I saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? What's happening in Hong Kong? What's happening in Russia, in North Korea? What's happening in the Philippines? What's happening wherever dictators exist is growing here within the United States of America. But it is a statement to the human race that there is a separation going on, a separation between those who deserve everlasting life in peace, not in hell. Everlasting life in prosperity, not in poverty. Everlasting life and not everlasting death. That determination is made at this university called Earth. All over the earth, a university. Where do you stand? All I got to do is watch the bullets, listen to the bullets fly, and watch the people scream and fall and dodge. And yeah, that's what it's all about. The brave ones, the truly brave ones, have been separated from us. And we don't know where they are. That's one of our big problems. If we knew where they were and felt good about it, then we stand up. But that's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to work by faith. By faith. That means that you have evidence through some means that's acceptable to you that God exists. And that you know the difference between God and the devil. And even though you are alive in these bodies at this date and at this time, and you see the devil running this show, you got to stand up for God if you are one with God. So I guess I'm basically saying to the people of the church, the people of religion, which really has nothing to do with God, but they try to make it seem that way. If you really do, then who's going to stand up for God? And if you're standing up for God, not just in America, you got to do it for Hong Kong too. You got to do it for China. You got to do it wherever oppression is. You got to do it for Central America. You don't just sit down and say, well, we like what we got, and we're being infringed upon by these people coming on here messing with our stuff, taking away from us. Don't that sound like the devil to you? They're messing with our stuff. They ain't got nothing, so they coming in here, infringing upon us. Now we ain't got but a little bit. Don't that sound sound like the devil. It got to sound like the devil. Can't sound like God. Because God did the job of God. God prepared this earth that everybody on it would have everything they would need from the beginning throughout eternity. And it is man who decided to play God, and it is the devilishness in man that allows them to be absent the Spirit of God and yield to the devil instead of God. The haves and have-nots is the greatest example that any people could ever associate with God and the devil. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye